Holy crapola. Okay, so I've had this mirror for years and years and years. I use it every day. I sit here and I put it here. And I just dropped it. I just dropped it and I just picked it up and I'm looking at it and I'm like kind of like getting this little sort of like, oh my god, like I don't believe in that bullshit about breaking mirrors is bad luck, you know? It's just whatever happens. So, but I just made a drawing like just a couple minutes ago that looks like this. I didn't want to drop this mirror. I didn't intend to drop the mirror, but I just dropped the mirror and it weirdly just made this same pattern. Okay, and then I was just finishing up listening to the last of a talk I was just listening to, which it was Bruce Lipton, then Bob Proctor, then someone named Nathaniel Hill, I think it was, and then it was Gregg Braden, and he was talking about the heart-mind connection and the power of it and the paradigm shift. And right as I broke the mirror and I reached down and I picked it up and I was looking at it thinking like, I can't believe it looks just like the drawing I just made, and I'm looking at it and I'm seeing myself all scattered, and he's like, you know, letting go of the paradigm shift, shattering the self-limiting beliefs that we got from our families and our stories of origin. And that's what this is. This is basically like my introvert extrovert internal gauge, empty full meter, and basically like describing that, you know, so that like when you're an introvert, you're on E, and it takes a lot more time to get to the feeling of fullness of your solitary activities that you enjoy. And with the social, you know, you feel empty at some point, but then at the point that you get to your feeling of fullness is like this, where if you were an extrovert, the feeling that you enjoy filling up and enjoying socializing with others would go around like this and take all this time. And then when you're doing your solitary activities, you do have a need for that as an extrovert, but your gauge of when you're ready to refuel and have some more of it, and then when you full and you've had your fill of it and you're ready for the other, seemingly in relatively dualistic terms. And I wrote sample 1, your results and meter may vary because, you know, you might need, you know, this much alone time and that much solitary, or, you know, maybe it's more split down the middle for you. Like this is just a sample 1, because, you know, you might be anywhere along this meter of where you want to spend, where you need and you want to spend time with others and how much you need and all that. And so my mirror just fucking broke. Which, you know, that's sort of annoying now that I can't still use it. But it broke into the fucking shape of this thing that I just drew. And then I'm holding it, looking at my shattered mirror, and Gregg Braden says, shatter the paradigms of your old, what, you know, you learned. So like I have felt for a long time, I've held on to this feeling like the fact that I have such a big gauge for these solitary activities and have such a small one for socializing I've always sort of let it make me feel somehow something like, here's quotes and here's an empty space. It's like inappropriate. Like that's a word that I've heard Abraham Hicks use. Like you feel somehow inappropriate for yourself, for being who you are, whether you take longer to get ready or you take longer to make decisions, or, you know, you have a very open mind, or I feel that my brother and sister are a lot more similar to each other. they're both extroverted people who enjoy socializing. They like sports. They like to do kind of a lot of the same kind of things. Not that they hang out super much. There's an 11-year gap between them, but they do have a close relationship. And, I'm like the odd man out. Odd woman out. Odd genderless. It doesn't matter because gender is just a social construct and just a way to hold people down and tell them what fabric they can wear and what style. Okay, I'm totally weird. Like, I am not like, a mainstream person. And so that's what this is sort of like for me, really, really, really realizing, like, shattering the paradigm of this self-limiting belief that says, because I am not like them. All right, I gotta go outside in 5 minutes, so I'm just gonna talk here. I'm all bundled up because I'm about to go out in the gosh darn cold. So shattering the paradigm of self-limiting beliefs that form in childhood. And for me, those self-limiting beliefs, like, each person's are going to be different based on whatever their experience is and their personal way of experiencing the world and sensing the world. And, I have definitely experienced a lot of feeling that because I was the oddball in my family, I was more like my dad, but my dad, to be cruel, but my father's manifested life in his physical form that he lived for 71 years on this earth as himself. He was, I would say, emotionally unwell, physically not well, mentally not well, and spiritually not well. And he was very pinched off. He was very angry. He was a bitter person. He held on to a lot of anger. He was very judgmental. He was also very introverted and isolated. And okay, so my brother and sister, who I'm the middle, but they're like 11 years apart from each other, they are a lot more like each other. And so my dad kept more to himself. My mom was always busy working, and then, my sister and I had a super volatile relationship growing up, and that was mixed in with the fact that, I was so different than them in a sensory perception way. Like they're extroverted, and I'm over here, thinking about the meaning of life and nature and God, and, just having such a clear interest in otherworldly things and in magic and in the unseen and things that I'm interested in now, in art and in writing and poetry and dance and music. And they were interested in things like sports, riding their bike. My brother was very athletic, riding his bike, playing with friends, always running around outside with friends, and I'm walking around looking at the trees and the sky. And my sister also always had a lot of friends, and she was a cheerleading captain, co-captain, and she was just outgoing, friendly, social. Lots of people liked her. She liked lots of people. And same with my brother, he made friends easily. He claims he was shy and stuff, but it's okay. Whatevs. You don't even know what you're talking about. Okay. No, come on, I'm not trying to be rude, but, they're more like each other, and they are basically mainstream folks, which is nothing bad or wrong about that. That's just a fact of life. Most of any particular culture is gonna, the biggest chunk of them are gonna have a tendency to sort of, follow the paradigm and go with the flow of what's happening around them, and not really reinvent the wheel or say stupid cliches. No, actually, most people are very cliche. I've noticed that most people get into this comfortable groove. I'm going to the bus stop now. I see somebody over there. I was like a surveyor. So basically, like growing up, I had a lot of like my brother and sister, and even my parents. They made fun of me. I didn't like it. Then they told me I was oversensitive. So it was like a lot of feeling of like I'm somehow different, and I'm not good enough, or I'm somehow make funnable. Like somehow my differentness deserves to be made fun of. Like I need to be the butt of a joke. And then when I don't like it, now I'm oversensitive. I'm hypersensitive. So it's like there's something about you that we're going to point out. You have a big nose. You have big feet. You fall down all the time. You're clumsy. Your head is in the clouds. You're asking stupid questions all the time. That was a big thing. My dad always, not always, but very, very often for long years, if he didn't feel like answering a question, if he didn't understand it, if he didn't want to answer it or whatever, if he thought I should know the answer, that's a stupid question. And I'm sure he did it to many others. There's fucking people right there. That's so annoying. That's so annoying that there's people right there. And I went through traumas in the beginning of my life. January 10th, 2018, 3:27, and there are some people. I'm gonna just walk. Okay, so these surveyors are surveying. But I'm gonna fucking talk to myself and film it while I'm waiting for my kid bus. So, I don't know, it just feels so good. Like I really feel like people think breaking mirrors is bad. Well, I just had an amazing experience of breaking a mirror that actually felt just as oh my God, the synchronicity. I feel like I absolutely am I'm getting closer to some vibration. I'm vibrating more, happier. Like I just wanted to say getting closer to something, or like someone commented on my headstand practice, you're getting better, and someone else had said you've almost got it, and someone else had said you're almost there, and of course I recognize that these are meant to be encouraging, and of course, but I also see something in there that I wouldn't point out to them because that would be rude and stuff probably, but I recognize some kind of limiting belief in there. Like, you're getting better, meaning that, you know what, you're not, I don't know, it's a tricky thing, It's like Pema Chodron and all those Buddhist teachers I love teach, Thich Nhat Hanh. It's not about getting better. It's about acceptance. And then, of course, you're going to take action. You're going to take inspired action. When you accept yourself as you are and you say, I am loving, I am worthy, I'm going to get stronger, I'm going to get happier, I'm going to be able to make a handstand when I couldn't prior, but I'm not getting better. I am the best I can ever be, and then tomorrow is a different day and a different shift, another step, but it's like the idea that, at one age you're the most beautiful, or at your prime, that there's your sexual prime, or your, that there's a prime, like the prime is now. Okay, wherever now is prime. Right now, this moment, not when I have a bank account. Not when I have a bank account with money in it. Not when I'm able to do a headstand or a handstand without using a wall. Not when I have that amazing, sexy, beautiful boyfriend who loves me and gives me genuine hugs of like source energy love, and you know, that I have him there to call or talk to or snuggle with or make love to or go to a party with or whatever it is that these wonderful things I'm going to do with him. That's not going to make me better. That's not going to make me more lovable or more successful or more achieved, you know? So what makes me lovable is knowing that I'm lovable. Not when my butt is tighter and firmer and bigger. Not when my thighs are more muscular. Not 20 years ago when my face was more buoyant. When I didn't have lines. Now is now. Now is a prime. Now is my best. Because if every now is your best, then you'll do your best. If I'm my best now, I got it. I got it now. I got it, and I got it in the next minute. I had it a minute ago. You know, you can't get it wrong. You never get it done. Like Abraham Hicks says, and when you die, you're just doing it differently. Non-physically. You're still doing it non-physically. That's the whole point. Marry, and engage the non-physical with the physical. Marry and engage your body and your actions. What you do for work, who you spend your time with, who you marry, who you hang out with as friends, what hobbies you have. All of that stuff needs to be married and aligned and well matched with your inner being. Your outer being should match with your inner being. Your outer being, your body, yourself, your life, your time, your energy, all of the stuff, your focus, your thoughts, your concentration, your dreams. If you align those things with what inside feels right, certain people are not going to be pleased with it, but you know what, ultimately that doesn't matter, because the ones who are perfectly well matched are going to come up into your existence, and the ones who are not will fall away, and it won't matter because you're going to be so fucking happy. Here comes my kids.